Hey, how are you? Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa. How you guys doing today? It's a little bit warmer, getting that summer glow going on. How are you guys feeling? Is a start to the beginning of the week? Hopefully you're having a good start to your Monday and your really good start to your week. And so a lot of what I've been posting recently is about your fear to getting over things. And so I try to come to you a couple times a week and talk to you about various different stuff. A little bit about me. I own my own business for a little bit more than 30 years. Recently sold that business and was trying to figure out exactly what was going to be next in my life. And I thought I had some real specific plans and some direction, had some ideas and knew what I wanted that to look like. And sometimes things don't always happen exactly as you plan them. And so you have to embrace that possibility, that wide open potential that's out there for you. And so even though maybe some things that I thought I might want to do changed a little bit, so what I decided to do is embrace that change. And as things were changing, it became very evident to me what really was important to me. And so first of all, as I said, I used to own my own business. It was a title company. I speak a lot about the things in the real estate world, but as my life is evolving from owning that company and not being as involved in the real estate world, I am actually working on some things that helped me through my business and experiences I'm having now as I transition into my new business, which is helping people with their skincare. So, and what a weird transition that's been, because who would have ever thought, right? A lot of people think that the company that I work for now, Mary Kay, is all about makeup and lipsticks and things, and it's absolutely not. As a matter of fact, although I do wear makeup, I don't switch things around and try out new things. It's more about the skincare for me. So I've learned a whole lot about me as I've been doing this and as I've been growing for the past couple months with this. But I've also learned a whole lot about things that I brought to the table. And one of those was, I want to talk a little bit about fear, because fear doesn't have to be, I'll tell you straight up, fear can be about something you're really afraid of. So my kryptonite is snakes. Anybody who knows me knows that. Last night I almost stepped on one trying to be the good wife and cooking for Father's Day, and I about lost my mind. So that's a fear. I couldn't dare jump out of an airplane with a parachute. That's an absolute fear. I'd probably literally pass out because those are fears. But what I really wanted to talk about is the things that get into our head, the things that really mess with us. And as business people, whether you work for someone else or you work for yourself, in your everyday life, let's talk about the business side of that for a minute. Let's talk about the human being side of what you're afraid of with other people. So, I'll share a few things with you. Mortal fear is those two things I probably told you. I'm really afraid of heights, but I'm even more catastrophically afraid of snakes. So I don't care what kind it is. I don't care what it looks like. It is not... It stops my heart. But things that make me not want to move forward, not launch with something I want to do, whether it is maybe, you're going on a cruise and you everybody else is renting scooters and you're just afraid, oh my gosh, you're overthinking what could happen. So, a fear is also maybe you're afraid to talk to somebody because you're afraid of how they may respond about what your interests are. Or maybe you're afraid to share something that you love or that you like to do because you're afraid of what other people will think. And I've talked about what other people will think before. But let's talk, maybe you're going to a conference and you're presenting information at that conference and you're just terrified about public speaking. Public speaking can be a little bit overwhelming. But the thing is, if that's your lane, if that's where you are, the reason that you got invited to be that person or do that thing is because you have so much to offer. So what I want to share with you is you're not going to be able to get to the next spot that you want to get to. Remember, I've talked about before, if you're in a box, if you want to get outside that box, you need to step from that box to the next box to be able to do something more fun that you want to do. You have to push through those fears. Maybe you're afraid to step out of that box because maybe there's something between you and that. Oh my God, if there was a snake out there, I don't know, I'd really have to push it. But what is your fear? What is it that's holding you from doing what you really want to do? Because on the other side, on that other box, is your dream trip, your dream family vacation, your dream car, your dream house, your dream of owning your own business, your dream of being financially wealthy, your dream of taking really good care of yourself. Maybe it's a fitness thing. Maybe you can't get to the next stage because you just can't figure out. You're too afraid to try something new because you might be afraid you might hurt yourself, or you might be afraid of what somebody might think because it's a little bit different. Maybe you're afraid to just try because you're not sure how your body's going to respond, but you don't know unless you try. And you've got to, I was listening to a colleague recently who was sharing things about your brain and how your brain talks you in and out of stuff, and how athletes have to train their brain to stop talking their body out of doing something, because most of their bodies will keep going long before their brain will let them. And so if you let your brain talk you out of what you want to do, what you know to do best, then you're never going to get outside of that box. You're never going to go to the next box, which is the advance to where you want to go next. And so that's the fear. We've been talking a lot about fear, but fear is like not jumping, just not stepping. I was visiting our son one time who was stationed in another area, and we went hiking through the woods, and we got up to this waterfall, and everybody was jumping off the waterfall. I told you I'm a little bit afraid of heights. And so he's like, come on, Mom, we're going to do this. And I wanted to do it so bad that there was just no way it was going to talk me out of it. Even I wasn't going to let my brain do it. So we climbed up there, and I was like, this is great. And once we got up there, I thought, what the heck am I doing? But at this point, I can't not do it. It's like going up in an airplane. If you're going to do the parasailing thing, jumping out of the plane with the parachuting thing. If you got in the plane, you have nowhere else to go. You got to jump, right? So I just had to sit there and self-talk myself that I had to jump, So what is it that you're afraid of? And maybe not afraid, maybe your brain is just talking you out of it. Tell your brain to sit still and watch you work, and get down into the weeds of exactly what you want to do. Put that picture out there. I was listening to somebody the other day who was talking about passion, and how passion isn't like this magical thing, or your why isn't this magical thing that you're chasing. The why and the passion is the energy that whatever that is gives you. So your passion is, wow, I get really excited when I do what? Well, that's what you want to do. You're not going to find this magical light bulb goes off and says to you, oh my God, my life is going to be so much better when I become a doctor, or when I start doing hair, because I really like doing that. Yeah, you really like doing it, but what is it that charges you to the point that you feel like $1 million? And when you figure out what that is, use that energy to step out of that box and stop worrying about what other people think, what other people are going to decide about you, because no matter what, the people that are talking about you now will be talking about you in a different way when you get outside that box and you're doing what makes you want to get up and which charges you and gives you that energy. Those people that are talking about you and making funny comments about it will be the ones that are talking about how they knew you when you're doing the things outside of that box. So I want you to pick one thing today, and this week you're going to do something that you are a little bit gun shy about doing. And next week I want you to pick the next thing, and I really want you to make a concerted effort this week to do 5 new things that you might be really afraid to do, or you may be afraid of what somebody else is going to think about it, and go do it and see how you feel afterwards. Because I promise you those things are going to energize you to be the best you, and to move on outside of that box into the next box, into the next box. Because it's your life, and you can't get it back once you don't do it. So get out there and do those things today. Thanks so much for tuning in to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.